Arthur, and I'm the director of the Career Agent Division here at DPR Realty. And today, I have a question for you. Have you ever had a client cheat on you? Have you ever had a buyer go directly into a new build after you showed them 30 resale properties and then they go into the model home and buy without you? Have you ever had a client who was working with multiple realtors at the same time and later on bought from another realtor? Have you ever had one of your clients go directly into an open house, go directly to the listing agent and cut you out of it? If you have, I highly recommend that you watch this video, and if you have not had that happen to you yet, be prepared. If you don't start putting together a buyer presentation, a buyer consultation, this very well could happen to you too. It's happened to many veteran real estate agents, and you know, one of the things we would like for you is that we help to prevent this from happening, because believe me, you'll be really upset when and if it ever does. So the best thing that you can do to prevent this from happening, I call it preventative medicine, is really start putting together buyer consultations. Before you put the cart before the horse and before you just get so excited that you have a client and you start chauffeuring them around and showing them 50 properties, think about doing this instead. Before you go out, actually schedule a time to sit down with them before you go out looking at properties. The reason is they need to be educated about the market. You need to share with them your game plan. This is your opportunity to articulate your value and actually talk to them about the benefits of working with one really reliable, dependable real estate agent versus working with 5 different realtors all at the same time. You want to talk to them and tell them, there's a myth out there where from time to time buyers kind of think that they're going to have better service if they work with 5 different realtors all at the same time. And you can say this to them, and I'm here to tell you, actually what ends up happening is you get less service as a buyer. If you work with 5 realtors all at the same time, thinking that you're going to get more exposure to other properties, the reality is all those 5 realtors, they know that you're not committed to any one of them. And what ends up happening is they only give maybe 5 or 10% effort, versus when you choose one really reliable real estate agent, boy, they're going to go the distance. They're going to beat the bushes and pound the pavement to make you happy. You know, you can say these things to the client during your buyer consultation. Have you ever had a client go into a new build without you? Here's one of the things that you can share with the buyer when you're doing the buyer consultation. You could just tell the buyer, just so you understand as a buyer, if you go directly into that new build and you don't let me know that you're going, as soon as you step foot in that model home, you have waived your right to realtor representation. And that's the last thing you want to do. The buyers don't want to waive their right. They need to understand that the on-site agents, they fully 100% represent the seller. They're there to make the seller the most amount of money, and they're there to do that for them. They're not there to represent the buyer. And when a buyer buys a home, a new build, without realtor representation, sometimes the buyers think they're going to get a better deal on the new build. That's not the case. That money that was allotted to the buyer's representative, when there is no buyer's representative, basically goes back into the pool and helps to pay for more marketing for the builder. So now the buyer isn't getting any better of a deal, but they also now don't have buyer's representation. Buyer's representation when it comes to buying a new home, there's so much paperwork. It's very different than buying a resale home. There's monitoring of construction. There's many different walkthroughs. There's design center appointments and making sure all the items that they chose actually are the items that end up in the home. Having an extra set of professional eyes looking at that home, it's incredibly important. Have you ever had a client buy directly from a listing agent? Here's the thing. The listing agent represents the seller. And so sometimes buyers think they're going to get a better deal when they buy directly from the listing agent. And the reality is, listing agent isn't necessarily going to tell them about the other home around the corner that maybe has better amenities and is maybe at a more economical price. the listing agent isn't going to necessarily tell them that, you know what, here are the 3 highest comps in the neighborhood, but here are the 3 lowest comps in the neighborhood. The listing agent is going to do whatever they can to get top dollar. They may go to the buyer and say, you know what, I'll get you this home for a discount. The listing price is $300,000. Let's say that the listing agent comes back to the buyer and says, you know what, buy the home with me and I will get it for you for $295. Okay, you're thinking, wow, I'm getting a good deal. But here's the thing. If I were the buyer's representative, I would actually show them a combination of the lower comps as well. And who knows, maybe it shows that the home is only worth $285. And that's what I would negotiate for the buyer. And so in that scenario, who is getting the buyer the better deal? And so these are just some things that you guys too, you have the platform to educate the clients about this when you do a proper buyer consultation. So stop putting the cart before the horse. Don't just jump right in the car and chauffeur them around. They already think that actually sit down with them at the office or at their home or at a coffee shop and spend 30, 35 minutes, 45 minutes, or even an hour actually articulating your value, explaining to them the process, talking to them about the market, learning about what their expectations are, and also opening up the door to talk about lending and getting their finances going and having a loan officer call them to get the ball rolling with that. And the very, very end of it, you have earned the right at the very end of this 30, 45-minute consultation to actually say to them, you know, based on everything that we talked about today, the way that I work and what your expectations are, do you feel that you and I working together would be a good fit? And would you be willing to allow me to be that agent that helps you find that next home and follow it through to the end? How does that sound to you? And if the buyer responds with, yes, this sounds great, you're my realtor, you're going to be a whole lot more excited and enthusiastic to pour 110% of your effort and attention and energy into working with them, knowing that you at least have a meeting of the minds. And so just a little bit of a tip, that's the tip of the iceberg actually as far as what you're going to learn through the Career Agent Division at DPR Realty. If you want to learn more, if you want to find out how we go about lead generating and helping the agents, the level of support, how it is that we take you under our wing and walk you through everything that has to do with helping buyers and sellers, you know, just reach out to us. We would love to talk to you about it and invite you to one of our next presentations. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Marisa Arthur. I'm the director of the Career Agent Division here at DPR, and we sure would love to hear from you. Take care.